we can get these logs loaded and successfully transported to our little shed area, which we share with Walter. Chop through all of the piles of logs, so we've halved them in length. So I'm going to try and get our first load loaded, then we'll have to get the Lee Bear mounted onto the trailer. I did not realise that there was a wooden bridge here to cross. We will need to unload the other end. We've got quite the mission today to get all these logs loaded. Rather large pile of logs that we can now turn into something. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the American Dream at Riverbend Springs. We have finally left June behind and are now in July, which is good news because our oats are one stage closer to being ready to harvest. They are looking rather luscious, although we have had a couple of patches looking a bit damaged. I think that's down to the moisture retention. We did thankfully have a little bit of rain at the end of June, which was in the form of hail, and that did add some moisture, but really because of the sunshine, the moisture has damaged some of the crop. So that is a bit unfortunate, but I'm hoping in the next month, August, we should be able to harvest this, which yeah, is a little bit alarming because we don't have any harvesting equipment at the moment. Might have to seek Walter's advice on what we should do there. But yeah, one thing is for certain, we will need to come up with some sort of plan. Right, I'm going to head over to the shed and we can hop in the pickup because I need to be really in search of some work today to get the funds back up to where we need them to be, because we need to see about purchasing some sort of saw and cutting station so we can start to process the amount of wood that we have collected from the damaged tornado trees. Here we go, our magnificent shed with all of our equipment in, and I do park the pickup over here now because it gives us a bit more space near our living situation. Ah, right, it looks like Walter has stashed one of his tractors and the trailer here. This was the tractor trailer we used to haul some of the stones around that we took to the cement factory, so Walter must be doing some work near or around here. Look at our magnificent pile of logs. Wow, this is really going to go a long way for us to turn into building materials. So yeah, we really need to see about buying a saw and cutting station. So let's hop in the pickup. Oh, hold on. Got a text. Aha, it's our usual trend of getting a text off the sheriff. Can you come lend a hand coning up Noah's sawmill? Right, okay, well, that's a bit odd. We know that Noah has been a little bit absent of late, so it sounds like the sheriff wants us to come and help cone up the entrance or something, which is a little bit alarming because, yeah, Noah must be still missing, which is very strange. Right, so let's head over to the sheriff's office, see what is going on there, and see if we can work out what we need to do. Well, it's great that peace has been restored to Riverbend since the tornado strike, and we have been able to benefit from that, from the trees that have fallen down, and we've got a good amount of logs. Oh, it looks like the Forestry Commission equipment is still parked up there. I imagine they will come and collect it at some point. Yes, that equipment was very cool to use, and despite us being a little bit underqualified, we were able to do it reasonably well. Right, here we are, Sheriff's Office, and I see cones. There we go. Right, let's just pull up here, shall we? I don't think many vehicles use this track. Let's see if the sheriff is in. Okay, the sheriff is not in, but I think it's fairly self-explanatory from the message he left us that he wanted us to cone over Noah's sawmill. There's some cones in the back of the pickup, so I think we will just grab them. Let me just lower the pickup. There we go, and we can shift some cones over to our truck. I have to put them in our truck because I don't have any keys to this pickup. This is one of Sheriff Bob's odd requests. We do get these quite often, to be honest. I'm starting to think that he thinks we're some sort of employee of the sheriff's department, and we might as well be, because we have to do quite a few tasks for him. But it is good to stay on the sheriff's good books, that's for sure, because when we're in his bad books, that tends to mean he picks up on things like traffic fines and all sorts of things like that. So yes, best to keep old Sheriff Bob happy. Right, there we go, that's relatively neat, so we can just strap them down, because yeah, we don't want them flying about all over the place, do we? Raise the pickup, and yes, we want to head off to Noah's sawmill. Now, after we're done with this, I think I'm going to head over to Walter's to seek some advice on what we should do for the coming oat harvest, and also to see if he's got any work to help us raise some funds. Right, here we go. We are at the sawmill, and I'm not actually going to venture down the track, but I'll probably just pull up here so we can put some cones across the entrance. Well, not much might look wrong with Noah's sawmill at the moment, but from what I've heard, it's very much out of action since the tornado strike, and Noah is seemingly not to be found. So yeah, it's quite a odd state of affairs, really. I don't know where Noah seems to have gone to. You would have thought he would be around trying to sort out the sawmill, but Sheriff Bob has got us coning over the entrance, so that is quite interesting. I'm not really sure what is going on. I'm sure we will hopefully find out at some point. But with Noah's sawmill out of action, that means that we've kind of got the perfect opportunity to set up shop of our own, and that will be a much smaller scale sawmill, but one that we can use to serve our own purposes for building materials. And if we've got surplus, then we could look to sell as well to turn a tidy profit. Right, I think we can use these cones for this main entrance, and then I think there is another entrance which I've already driven past, so I will get that coned over as well. Right, this is the secondary entrance. I'd better just indicate over, and we can quickly dash these cones out before the inevitable traffic comes to honk at me. Oh, I spoke too soon. Alright, there we go. Last cone. Alright, alright. We've finished now. Just have a little patience. I've had to put the cones out by order of Sheriff Bob. I'm just about to move off. Thank you very much. My goodness. Some of the locals are very impatient, and it is a little bit infuriating at times. I think when we were new to Riverbend Springs, we didn't really want to upset anyone, but it has been a little while that we've been here now, and I'm starting to find it a little bit annoying. And these drivers are very reckless. I hope Sheriff Bob pays attention to some of the driving etiquette from his locals, as he does to some of the attention he's given us in the past for not transporting goods properly or for speeding. Now, haven't seen Kate in a little while. I think I can see her there at the animal dealer, give her a little toot. It's been a little while since we spent some time together, so I'm thinking some point soon I might message to see if she wants to meet up again. Maybe she can take us for a ride on her motorbike. That'll be interesting. Right, let's head over to Walter. It's a bit embarrassing, really. I think we see Walter a little bit more than we do Katie. Alright, here we go. It's been a little while since we were here. And... oh, Walter is there. I can see him by the front door. It's always good to see our pal Walter. Hey Walter, how you keeping? Oh, excellent, excellent. Yeah, glad to hear it. We've had quite a busy time getting all of the damaged trees cut down and over to the shed area, which I'm sure you've seen as the... see, you've dropped the tractor off there. Okay, I see you've got some stuff to shift around that area. Makes sense as to why the tractor is there then. Hope you're happy with the shed and hope we're not taking up too much space. Two things today really. One is we've got our oat harvest coming up and wondered if you've got any tips. And two, we could really do with some work to raise the funds to try and get a saw and a cutting station. Right, I see. I know we need some form of harvester, but not really sure where to source one. Definitely can't afford one from the dealership. Well, I shall keep my eyes peeled for whatever opportunities there are there. But have you got any work that we could help you out with? Oh, that's fantastic. Some spraying, you say? So, good news. Walter needs one of his fields sprayed. And he's got a self-propelled sprayer. And it needs weeding, so we'll be spraying herbicide. Luckily, we have a little bit of experience, thanks to using Farmer Stan's John Deere sprayer for our own field. Oh, that's awesome, Walter. Of course, yeah, we'll take you up on that, and we did some spraying for Farmer Stan, so we are a little bit experienced in that. The sprayer's in the shed where the Challenger was. Okay, yeah, we'll get right on it. We'll leave our pickup here. Thanks, Walter. Catch you in a bit. Well, this is excellent news. We have a contract to spray field 76. I'm not sure what crop is in it. But here we go, look at this. I think I know why the Challenger and the trailer was over in the new shed, because Walter has had this parked up. Oh, look at this thing. This is pretty high tech. Like a spaceship or something. Right, fired it up, but it's coming quite quietly. Looks like it's got 60% herbicide in already, 4,000 litres, so we should be good. Let's just delicately pull out of here. I'm conscious this thing has got some tall and wide booms on it. Crikey. I think this is probably the biggest farm equipment we have driven. Obviously, driving the big truck, the log trailer and the flatbed whilst dealing with all those trees was quite the ordeal, but yeah, this is a slightly different genre of equipment, and it will be even wider once we get it to the field and unfolded. Alright, we will head out this way, and I think the general direction is to go towards Noah's sawmill, because that field is just down the road from there. Right turn onto the main road. And when this sprayer gets going, it really does have a bit of a whining sound about it. It almost sounds a little bit like an old fighter jet diving. Bomb doors open. Bombs away! Right, I think we have made it to field 76. Here we go. Right, let's just have a little look and get our bearings. Okay, the field is pretty rectangular. The straight edge is down towards the road here, so I'm thinking that might be the best place to start. And yeah, we'll do probably a lap around a headland to clear off the edge first and then dip into the rows. So I probably want to move over to the other side of the field, to the bottom left corner perhaps. So we'll venture up this way. And I think cotton is the crop that Walter has got in here. So that is good. I know that Walter's been engaged in some rather large cotton harvests in the past when he's been busy working. Right, let's get this beast unfolded, shall we? Just so we know what width we are working to. Crikey, this is pretty wide stuff. But I think it's good enough for us to manage. And the good thing about this is it's got narrow ties, so we're not going to be damaging the crop, hopefully, he says. But we may well do, we'll have to see. Right, let's venture in and we can hopefully start herbiciding. We've got a limited quantity, so we don't want to be wasteful. So let's get cracking and get this all sprayed. And there we go. Last little slither just sprayed there. And I think we've done a pretty neat job. It's quite difficult trying to meander this rather large and wide sprayer boom about. You have to make sure you don't catch any trees or vehicles or telegraph poles. But we have made it. And I've just noticed that there are some beacons. So yeah, a little bit bad of me not putting the beacons on the trip out here, but we can have them on for the trip back. And yeah, we can head back to drop this off at Walter's yard. I think he will be happy with what we have done. Now I noticed that Walter was going to pay us quite a handsome sum of around $13,000 for that contract, which for the actual length of the contract seems very, very reasonable, very, very generous. So I'm not quite sure on what the reason is for that. Obviously the spraying is made quick by the big equipment, but maybe carries more risk having the bigger equipment, and of course we're spraying the chemicals, so there is a certain amount of danger money involved in it, I assume. But there we go. Alright, made it back to Walter's East Farm, so we can head on in and get this big old girl parked up. Back it up, and there we go. We can beacon off, shut her down. There we go, Walter. Job done. So, minus the borrowing of Walter's equipment, we have made $12,329. Awesome. Thanks, Walter. That really is kind of you. Is there anything else we can help you out with today? Sure. Understand there's nothing else for us to do for East Farm. But maybe we should go and ask David, you say? Well, that's a great idea. We did meet David over at the farmer's market. He lent us the trailer with the forklift. So yeah, perhaps we can see if he needs any help. Excellent. Thanks very much, Walter. We will catch you later. Well, it is good news. We earned a very, very tidy sum for that spraying work for Walter. A bit too generous, if you ask me, but yeah, I'm fairly certain that the larger equipment jobs and the larger field jobs, and also stuff that involves chemicals, can pay much greater because, yeah, it's not really desired work sometimes. But there we go. Right, we're probably a little bit shy off where we need to be able to afford a saw and a cutting station. So I'm going to go see if David is in need of any work. We, of course, met him when we needed to do some transporting of the building materials from Noah's sawmill to our shed. So maybe we can sort of return the favour by helping him out. Right, I think whilst we're going past it, we might just hop into the warehouse and see how much a saw and cutting station is going to cost us. Right, let's see. Right, so this particular cutting station and saw, which has a shed covering it, is $36,000, and it's able to process wood and wood chips and can be used for making planks and longer planks and wooden beams. So I think that's probably a good solution for starting out. But 36,000 is the target, so we are a little bit off that. We'll have to see if David has got any work. If not, maybe we will have to go to Riverbend Bank and see if we can draw some kind of business loan. Right, the farmer's market is quite near to where we live. It's just around here, and oh, turned slightly too far then. But yeah, David's house is just up here. So yeah, we can park in this little lay-by. And looks like David is home, which is good news. Hey David, good to see you again. Yeah, it's been a little while since we borrowed the trailer. Thanks again for that. And we were looking for some work and wondered if we could sort of return the favour. So today might be our lucky day. David has a cultivating contract, and he did have a worker lined up to do this, but he's let him down on short notice. So he's wondering if we can cover the job for him as a favour, and he's willing to pay us handsomely as well. He's got some equipment down by the field that we can use. It's field 88, so just south of the watchtower. I think it's actually the field where the barn fire was, which is quite interesting. Yeah, absolutely, David. We will get right on that and head over to the field immediately. Thanks, David. We'll catch you later. Well, that seemed to work out surprisingly well, and seems like we're going to get paid really well for this job, but we are helping David out because he's been let down by a contract worker who was due to help him. But let's head over to the field and we can pick up the equipment that's waiting there. These contracts do get us venturing here, there and everywhere around Riverbend, but it makes for good fun and varied work, which is nice. Just over the crest of this hill, and I think I can see a tractor there. Is there a track here? No, there isn't, so we're just going to have to do a little bit of off-roading. Of course the truck is up to it. It's a beast. Right, and speaking of beasts, this looks like a bit of a beast. My goodness. This is the John Deere 8RX 410. My goodness. What a beast. Well, here is the cultivator that is attached to it. The Lemkin Coralin 9-840. Not sure how wide this is. But yeah, it's a pretty beefy cultivator. Looks like there's a front weight on the John Deere as well. Not that I think it needs it, because it's pretty hefty. Right, let's get this fired up. All systems are loading. Again, a bit like a spaceship in here. But let's head on into the field. We can get the cultivator unfolded. There we go. Right, get lined up, probably into this corner. And I am going to see if we've got some form of steering guidance to help us out. This is quite a high-tech tractor, so I'm thinking it will have such things. Oh, here we go. Steering assist. The working width is 8.4 meters. I've set it to 2 headlands, as I think that's going to give enough turning space. Work direction is automatic, following the longest direction and line of the field. And yeah, I think we are good to set that. Right, I have activated the lane, so we can just set the cruise control. We'll go a little bit slower, as yeah, we don't really want to be racing off. Let's lower the cultivator and we can get started. There we go. Right, got it set to 8. Can we go faster? Looks like we can go a little bit faster, up to 9 miles an hour. That's perfect. Right, so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do rows to begin with and then follow up with the headland. I know I'm on the outer row, but yeah, it's probably going to be good to finish up the top and bottom after we've done all the rows, because we'll have to turn over it quite frequently. And yeah, we're underway. And there we go, cultivating done. So we can fold up, and I am on the road, so I'm going to switch the hazards on. Steering guidance is now off, and I gotta say, the steering guidance really did help out massively there, made the job that much easier. Right, let's get the tractor and cultivator parked up where we found it, so just tucked up back along the way here. And that was a fairly smooth job. We ended up doing staggered rows because the sort of turning of the tractor had needed a good amount of turning space, so alternate rows seemed to work best. Right, we can shut off the beacons and shut her down. And also, we finished up with 2 headlands, but the inner headland didn't really have too much to cover because we did keep the rows quite close to the edge of the field. Did miss a couple of tiny little patches here, but that's negligible. And then we finished up with the outer headland, sort of doing the field in a bit of a D shape. Now for the eagle-eyed, you would have noticed that this is indeed the field that the barn fire occurred near. And it looks like we still have the scorched earth area here where the barn did burn down. It's just ashes and rubble left here. And the grass has not quite recovered. Still very much scorched earth. But yeah, I still don't have any answers as to what caused the barn fire and what happened on that fateful night. We will never forget it. Maybe someday we'll find out, or there'll be whispers around town. We will have to wait and see. But with the contract done, we can head back to David to collect our contract money. And then I think, hopefully, we might have enough to go and place our order in with the warehouse. So back we head to David's house. And it has been a really nice day being able to work with some much larger equipment, and it's going to be quite the contrast when it comes to harvesting our own field. We've only got our small John Deere and Alice Chalmers tractors, and any equipment we buy to help with the harvest is going to be pretty small as well, I imagine. Right, made it back to David. He is still waiting there. Hello, David. Great success with the cultivating. Yep, that's right. Job's all done. So, yeah. Left the equipment where we found it. Wowzers. So, thanks to all of our hard work, and it's fair to say that it was much harder than the spraying. It did take a great deal longer. David is paying us $14,415 for that contract. It's obviously minusing some money for borrowing his tractor and cultivator. But yeah, we will certainly collect that. Thank you so much, David. Yeah, we'll stop by another time and see if we can help out with anything else. You take care. Right, so we've not quite made the target of 35,000, but I'm wondering if we could potentially make up the difference by inquiring with the Riverbend Springs Bank and see if they'll lend us some money. We could borrow around $10,000, and that's going to mean that we're not completely cleaned out by the cost of the saw and a cutting station. And we're going to need a couple other bits of equipment to help run a sort of sawmill operation. We're going to need something to pull logs out of the pile to get them towards the saw so we can then cut them. So yeah, I've got some sort of research to do on a couple of bits of equipment that we might need, but I'm hoping to put the order in for the cutting station today, so that can arrive as soon as possible. We don't want that wood sitting there for too long. Made it back into town, and Riverbend Bank is what we want. I think the car park is just down this little place here, and there we go, there's a free spot. Right, let's see if we can borrow some money. Hi there, good afternoon. Yes, I'd like to inquire about a business loan. We're looking to borrow around $10,000 to help buy some cutting equipment for wood so we can make building materials. I need some collateral. Okay, well, we own field 34, so I'm happy to put that down as collateral. But yeah, we will look to earn quite a bit of money from the wood goods that we make, so we could pay back the loan fairly quickly, I hope. Excellent. Well, that's a very swift service. Thank you very much. I will sign the loan contract, and yeah, the payment should be received immediately. Well, fantastic. Well, there we go. $10,000 borrowed from the bank, and I gotta say, I think that was a very swift service. I think, yeah, they obviously wouldn't have lent us the money had we not had any collateral, so we have the field down as collateral. If we don't pay back the loan, we could well lose that field, but yeah, we have a good sort of grace period to be able to repay the loan over the year. So that is pretty good going. The interest is relatively low as well. Alright, that is excellent news. So I think I'm going to go to the warehouse and we can put in the order for the saw and the cutting station. Luckily the warehouse is just here. Oh, and it looks like there is a little inward entrance here. Right, that order has been made. They are going to be delivering it at some point later on. And yes, we showed them obviously that we have the funds to pay for it, and it is pay on delivery. So that is grand. So I think before we head back home, we potentially could drop in on old Ben to see if he's got anything that will help us shift some of the wood. I know he has had some old tractors, obviously, which is what we purchased from him. But Walter did mention that he is a sort of good person to go to for any equipment needs. Sometimes he has got some old stuff kicking about. So yeah, I thought we'd go pay old Ben a visit, as we haven't seen him since we bought the tractors, and see if he's got anything that could help us out. Old Ben lives just a little ways away from Walter, and oh, he looks like he is here. We are in luck today with everyone being around, which is handy. Right, let's pull in and we can chat to Ben. Hello Ben, how you doing? Oh, excellent. I'm glad you're keeping well. Yep, the tractors we've bought are doing really well since we serviced them up. But at the moment we are looking to start up a logging and sawmill orientated business. Just a small operation to begin with. I was wondering if you had anything that could help shunt some logs around. Yeah, it would just need to be small scale because we've only got our small tractors. An old winch, you say? Well, yeah, that sounds like the right kind of thing. Could we take a look at it? Round the back of the barn. Okay, well, we'll be right back, Ben. Thank you. Right, well, Ben says he's got a winch round the back of the barn. And, oh, I think I've found it. Here we go. So it looks like it's been parked out under this tree for a good while, which is interesting. But, yeah, it is a winch. The bush has overgrown into it. And, yeah, it looks like it's got a cabling system here that we could use to lash to the trees. So it's got a hook down here, which you can barely see through the foliage. So, yeah, I think this is a 3-point linkage here. So we could have this on the back of one of the tractors. It's PTO powered. And we could use this to drag some logs about. And, yeah, I think there's a bit of a blade down the bottom here. So we could even use that to push some logs around. I think this will work for us. It's not a big piece of equipment, but that's probably ideal for us. So maybe we'll see what Ben wants for it. Fantastic. Hello, Ben. Yeah, that looks ideal. What do you want for it? 1,500? Well, I think that's fair enough. Yeah. Excellent. I will see if I can get it loaded onto the back of the pickup. $1,500 to Ben for the winch. Alright, let's pull up around the back and see if we can get that loaded. That's pretty handy. Right, if we back out of here, we can go and grab the winch. And yes, we want to turn right here. Ah, well, it looks like there's something under the tree there. That looks quite interesting, and looks like an old piece of equipment as well. I wonder if that is Ben's. How intriguing. Right, let's buck up and grab the winch, wait for the traffic to clear. I think if we pull in here, we can hopefully get it lifted and loaded. Heavy piece of kit that, but I've managed to get it loaded on, so let's strap it down. Excellent. Right, we can get this back over to our shed and the site where we are going to have our own little sawmill. But I am intrigued by this piece of equipment here that's seemingly been left to rot underneath the tree. I wonder what this is. It says something on the back here. The Alice Chalmers 60 Harvest All. Right, well this appears to be a harvester. And that kind of makes sense because this kind of looks like the front of a combine harvester, albeit very, very small. And this kind of looks like a hopper with a pipe coming out the side of it. It's got some very old pulleys and gears on it. And oh, okay, this looks like a bit of a straw chute or something like that. I wonder if this still works. And I don't know if Ben owns this. It's yeah, parked up in a very overgrown patch. But yeah, I wonder if this is an option for us for our oats. Let's just drive past Ben once again and see if this is anything to do with him. Thanks, Ben. Yep, we've got the winch all right. I say, that piece of equipment that's under the tree, just on the other side of the road, is that yours by any chance? Oh, it is. And is it a harvester? Grand, okay. Do you know if it's still in working order? Not been used in years, but yeah, I guess Alice Chalmers are pretty known for their reliability. So, yeah, I don't suppose you're willing to sell it, are you? Okay. You were going to sell it for scrap, but we can take it off your hands for 500 and see if we can get it running. Well, fantastic. I'll probably have to come back tomorrow, Ben, but yeah, keep that on hold for us if you'd be so kind. Don't scrap it, and we'll come back and let you know. Alright then. Cheers. Catch you later. Well, do you know what? Today has gone pretty well by all accounts. Been able to do some contracts to raise some good money. We've been able to guarantee a bank loan from the Riverbend Springs Bank. And we've put an order in for our saw and cutting station. And lastly, we've just been able to buy a winch, which is really going to help us shunt the logs around in our area, our work area. And all being well, if we can get Ben's harvester functioning again, we should be able to harvest our oats in the coming month when they are ready to harvest. Right, we have made it back to our shed. Fantastic. Right, I think we can just stop here so we can get the winch unloaded. In fact, we can park in our usual spot. Right, that's the winch unloaded. And, aha, that's good timing. Think I can hear a delivery coming. Wow, would you look at that? The delivery truck is here with the saw and cutting station. I think we need to pick a spot to get it unloaded, either over on this side or on the side in which we own, or the side which we use predominantly. Let's have a think. Boy, well, there we go. It did not take long to set up. And here is our saw cutting station, which is nicely covered by a shed. Fantastic. Well, yeah, I think we're good to get this loaded with some wood, and we can also load wood chips into here. So I suggest we get the winch, probably use the John Deere tractor because that's the beefier out of the two. I've paid on delivery, so the bank balance is down to 5,356 now. But let's hop in the tractor and get the winch attached. There we go, winch attached. I think the driver of the truck is just having a little break before he returns off back to the warehouse. Fantastic, right, we have got a winch. So let's see if we can haul a log into our sawmill. Just take one from the end of the pile. And I chose the saw to go on the end that it is because that really is sort of over to the side that we are using. I didn't want to encroach any more onto Walter's side. Right, there we go. We can lash that on. Fantastic. Look at that. The winch is in good order. We didn't need to do any servicing. Although I say that, it looks like it potentially does need a bit of servicing. And look at this. The plucky little John Deere can pull it no problem. Maybe we can try if we can heave 2 logs into the saw. We will have to test it out. But there we go. Let's pull this in and hopefully deposit. There we go. We've got a log in the saw, and yeah, how many litres is that? 2,000 litres from just that log. Well, we have got a lot of log and wood literage in that regard. Right, we don't have a pallet fork as such. So I'm wondering if we can use the winch to just drag our wood chips in. And yes, the saw that we have is also able to sort of compact wood chips into wood, so it will make things like MDF and so forth. Right, yeah, it looks like we can attach to there. That's pretty handy. I think, can we attach to... oh, crikey. Oh, I've just exploded it, but there we go. Attached to more than one, I think. There we go. Right. Let's see if we can just drag those 2 pallets. Oh, I'm going to make an absolute mess. Probably tip wood chips everywhere. But if I do it delicately enough, and it's probably a one at a time type job. But there we go. We can drag our boxes and pallets around without needing to have a pallet fork. And not having to manually lift it and load it ourselves. Appreciate this probably looks a little bit odd. We will just do one at a time in the future. But just to test it out, there we go. We've got one box loaded in. Let's just reattach the second one and get that dragged into position. So there we go. We can attach to here. And that's probably going to be much better, just the one. Fantastic. Right, I think that's probably going to be 2,000 litres of wood chips in here as well. Right, this is awesome. We can start some building material production. We can make planks, long planks and wood beams from wood. And we can also make it from wood chips. So I think I'm just going to start making a little bit of everything, and we're going to have to man the saw to begin with, but if all goes well, I might see if we can get a worker or a helper to effectively run the saw for us. There we go, just wearing away, making some of our first planks. Right, let's get the tractor parked up and out of the way. There we go. I will probably keep the winch attached because that's going to be one of the first things we have to do. We'll be loading our saw with enough materials. But look at that. Fantastic. I'm glad we've been able to purchase this today. But that is it for today. I hope you have enjoyed watching. If you have, remember to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you've got any tips, tricks, or things you'd like me to do, then feel free to leave a comment. But all that's left to say is I hope to see you again next time on the American Dream at Riverbend Springs. And until then, catch you later. Cheers all. Bye bye.